it. Go.
Hello, and welcome to the Tales of Amnesia, Lunar Eclipse. I don't remember what episode we're on. I wasn't
16.
listening. We are on episode 16. We're in the lair of the dragons, but it's not as scary as it sounds so far.
So far. All right.
All that
That was honestly a better intro than I normally give, so good job.
Thank you.
All right. So you are all gathered sort of at this center, like, fountain, if you will, of sort of glowing omnite energy. Or rather, you're in the square around the fountain, with creatures of all shapes and sizes, some dragons, some chipmunks, some elves, all staring at you. You have been told that you can stay here for the night. And what would you like to do with your time?
Yes.
Cool.
Shoot, I feel like I had something that I wanted to do, and I can't remember what it was.
I probably, would start working on the harpoon hand.
So it is going to be a harpoon hand.
Did I agree to that? You just start chopping me up even further.
No, I'm gonna build it first and then.
Oh, okay.
chop
You're gonna
you up
present
later.
it to me later.
Also, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure you explicitly were choosing options that were not gonna chop you up further.
Grant, let's not go too deep into
I
this.
thought you wanted the harpoon hand.
Guys, can we just have some mystery? We weren't live last week, okay?
Sorry. I'm sorry. Trevor wanted the harpoon
Can we
hand.
have some mystery for the 3 viewers that are myself, Grant, and Alora streaming this right now? And the viewers that will be watching later at a time, like Aaron's mom.
Sure. Hey, your fear. Do you want a harpoon hand?
Excuse me, a what?
A harpoon hand. It will shoot a harpoon out of your hand, or your hand is the harpoon.
My hand is the harpoon? Can I still hold things with this wonderfully cool harpoon hand?
Yeah, of course. I mean, not while it's like shot out, but when it's attached, yeah.
What's the name of the tiefling from my past that I don't like anymore? I'm blanking on everything right now. That just set us up in the...
Valmir?
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't think. I just was thinking Zach, but that's it. Sure, I'll take that harpoon hand, and I'll have a tough decision to kill Valmir with the harpoon hand or Eorva. So go ahead.
All right. Go ahead and give me a technology check. The DC for this is going to be 18. So this is essentially I'm going off of the Star Wars 5e chart for the DCs for installing a prosthetic. Except because these are extremely not ideal conditions, I've essentially bumped it up a couple rarity levels in terms of the DC.
3.
7 plus 12, 19. So just
Nice.
Wow.
Let's go. Nice.
Is it gold? Does that mean it's gold?
As you begin to work on Yorfir's hand, you see the creatures around you, who a lot of them have begun to sort of drift away at this point. Several of them come up closer it's seemingly entranced by what you're doing. You see a small sparrow land on the edge of the fountain next to you, and a badger walk up alongside you and start snuffling at the hand as you're preparing it. You begin work on the hand. You already have the parts for it that you had salvaged from the ship and brought along with you, and you had been working on parts for the body that you were going to build Cerberus. So it doesn't take much tinkering to adjust that to this use, and you begin cutting into Yorfir's arm, his stump. Probably, yeah, I suppose you wouldn't have access to any anesthetics, so it probably doesn't feel great, Yorfir.
Oh, did you want it installed now? I figured I was just going to build it and then install it later, but...
Yeah, I guess, sure. Yorfir's probably pretty weighted down to know that he's got lots of souls trapped in all of the weapons that he's been murdering people with. So he probably is already drunk. So go ahead and just let her rip.
All right. Yeah, you begin cutting into Yorfir's arm and finding all the tiny little burnt nerve endings and clipping it into the hand. And you work like this for several hours. As you do so, you begin to see one smallish dragon in dragon form, a bronze dragon, leans its head over you and examines what you're doing, and then you watch its front claw sort of morph and melt and change. It still looks metallic, but it doesn't look bronze anymore. It looks silvery and steel, like the hand that you're installing on Yorfir. And you realize that it has just morphed its hand into a as close to a copy of what you're installing as it can get. And it sort of holds the hand up and examines it, and you realize the fingers are not properly jointed, and it's just frozen in one position. But you see like the badger in front of you, or beside you, suddenly now has a mechanical tail, and all these dragons around you all begin imitating this one, in transforming different parts of their bodies into mechanical. None of them seem to be working correctly. One dragon transforms its entire head and is just locked with its jaw shut. But you continue work on this, and eventually finish installing the hand. And Yorfir, you hold up a now restored sort of hand, and you can, as you flex it, you can feel the sensation of touch from the fingers, it's definitely different from what you're used to. It's more there's less sensitivity, and it's almost like an on-off kind of thing. But it's functional.
Is it? You said it's a metal.
Yeah.
Or there's no like flesh or whatever synthetic.
I don't think Vidar would have access to that kind of thing here. And especially since like all the parts that he's replaced are also bare metal.
Okay. Would it look like I know it's just a hand sticking out of like a sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
Does it look something that could be mistaken like artificery, or this is like totally out of the realm of what amnesia is looking like?
To a layperson, it could be some extremely advanced artificery, like something coming out of the research halls of the Borealis Academy. But probably to someone who knows what they're talking about, this would be obviously not of terrestrial make.
All right, cool. Just be playing with my, I guess, robotic hand.
Gonna shoot it out.
Well, like, that's what I was... a premature shooting of the harpoon hand with the excitement. Obviously gets stuck in the ceiling above him, and he has to retract it back. Happens to the best of us. Yeah, I guess I would just be playing every time like I turn it into harpoon form. Does it have to be fired, or does it like
I imagine you can just
like
make it a
straight up
harpoon. Yeah, just knife hand it.
Oh, I can have knife hand too?
I mean, no,
So
you,
many
you can't
weapons.
actually make the attack. No.
All right, well, okay, so I can just like kind of okay, all right, I'm playing. The servos sound cool, so he's drunkenly switching his hand into an off of knife hand mode, and then randomly it fires every once in a while because he's still not familiar with what he's doing.
It skates right by Ember's head once and just barely misses, but
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I slowly put the harpoon hand away. We'll practice that later.
All right. Is there anything else that anyone would like to do before bedding down for the night?
How much time do we have? A lot or not a lot?
It would have taken several hours to install the hand, so if you're doing it during that time, at least several hours.
I probably wouldn't have wanted to be there when he was getting that installed, because that's like ick. So maybe I would try to like walk around. I'm not looking for anything particular, but just like see what I can see if I'm allowed to walk around. I don't know if that would be allowed.
You would see as you try to walk out of this little square, one of the small critters nearby transforms into a full dragon and growls at you.
I'll turn right back around. Okay.
And it shrinks back down into a squirrel. You can walk around the square, but it seems you're not allowed to leave.
I would probably be working on my bosonic charge, and also maybe trying to teach my Omni about bosonic charges? That's like a really weird thought, but like my kind of intention is that like he's my little assistant, so I should like teach him about the stuff that I do.
Oh, that's cute.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, give me a just a flat charisma check to see how well you can get this information across.
Do I still have a -1 to charisma from my withdrawals?
What do you still have?
Strength, con, and charisma are still all -1. Not like, well, my charisma is +1, but it could be
right,
+2.
Right. Yeah, I think your charisma would be restored at this point.
10. We're still working on it. He's a scared cat.
Yeah, every time you tap something, he jumps a little bit.
He's scared of things that might go boom.
Yeah, absolutely.
He didn't know that this was a thing that might go boom, but he does now, and he's not a fan.
Now.
Does he have a name yet?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We're gonna be in the last episode. Does he have a name yet?
But
No.
All right. Anything else?
Something quick also after the hand thing. I would probably go up to Ember and be like, you keep asking Hyoba, are people good? What does Hyoba see?
From what I remember, Hyoba she seemed nervous but intrigued.
Or not here, just I mean in general. Like how can she tell if people are good or not?
I don't know. I mean, so she has true. I mean, you wouldn't know what true sight is?
No.
So I would probably just explain that she can see things that we can't see.
Could I try my invisibility here to see if Hyoba would notice technical invisibility?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. You turn invisible, and Ember, you ask Hyoba if they can still see Vidar, and they lean down and hoot into your ear. Yes.
Yep, she can still see you.
Good to know. And then I would come out.
Can Hyoba tell that he tried to turn invisible?
Yes.
Yep.
So all of these other dragons are immediately suspicious.
Probably. As you are, sorry, is there anything else that anyone would like to do? Okay. As you are beginning to bed down for the night, you see one form sort of slinks up to the edge of the courtyard and just stares over all of you. There are still a number of other dragons watching, but most seem to be themselves bedding down as well. But this there's one form that it seems more formless than form. It is dark, amorphous, and familiar to some of you. There is
Shadow?
a shadow
Why is this
staring at all of you.
Oh my gosh.
Does it shadowy look shadow angry or shadowy happy?
Neither.
Does it have a mood ring on? Can we tell its mood?
Can we cast Dice and detect thoughts on this?
I mean, if you have detect thoughts, you're welcome to try.
I do. No, just kidding.
Oh.
Why would I have detect thoughts, guys?
I don't know, I got excited for it.
You're right. I stole a scroll from the last shop when you guys weren't looking. It's just hang out in the corner.
Yeah.
Does it look like the other creatures can have it in their peripherals, like they can see it too?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
no one is alarmed by it at all.
Not in the slightest.
So can shadows be unsplintered? Wait, no, that would mean shadows are dragons.
I mean, could they be? When we fought that one, it morphed into different things.
Okay, I see what you're cooking. I see. What's the I'm sorry, I'm forgetting the name of the dragon that brought us here. She who
She the
Endures?
MCC.
The unceasing. Yes.
Unceasing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
okay. She the unceasing. Is she close by, or is there like any other creatures close by to us that we'd be able to ask a question to?
I mean, there are other dragons around in various forms.
She's left for the night, as far as you can tell.
Okay, thank
Right.
you. She's
Yes.
left. What's the rest of the group feeling like? How are they? What are you guys vibing with the? Psst, do you guys see the shadow over there, or am I just extra drunk?
Do we all see it, or was it just the terrestrials that see it?
No,
Or
everyone
just
sees
that
it.
they're the only
they're the
ones who realize what it
recognized
is?
Right.
Gotcha.
That's a shadow for the people from outer space.
Did we... Oh, I was going to ask a question that I would not have the information for. Because I was not outside the building when the little kid shadow girl did whatever
yeah.
she did.
I was gonna say,
ask
does-
if it looked like her.
That was going to be my question.
Interesting. Make a. This will be for Ember. Make a. I suppose perception check.
18.
This. I mean, it's certainly hard to tell the differences between shadows, but this does not. You don't see a small girl wrapped in this one, and that shadow was for the most part acting as a literal shadow, and it was only right at the end that it lifted up, but it was still sort of two-dimensional as it wrapped around the pair of children. This one seems more three-dimensional.
Ember is definitely panicking on the inside. Like, stricken with fear panicking.
Are you visibly showing that fear?
Probably a little bit, yeah.
I look over at Ember, and then I'm gonna say whoever is closest to me to watch my back, and I want to get up and walk towards it.
Okay. All right, I watch her back, slightly drunk.
Yeah, please, someone other than your fear watch me.
Harpoon. I'm like, I got my target, trying to see double. Which one is the real shadow?
Wait, so Laura's going to check it out and is looking for company?
No, I just said to watch my back. Like,
She just
somebody
started-
just
Oh.
watch to make sure that I'm not.
About to die.
Yes,
I
pretty
will.
much.
I will definitely watch your back.
Yeah.
I'm aiming at either Alora or the shadow. I'm not sure.
They're sort of fading back and
Probably
forth.
I'm old and I am mildly a drunkard, so I probably have a little advantage on it. I've seen a lot of doubles in my life. So.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's fine. I drive drunk all the time. I'm great at it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm great at it. Why isn't that? It's everyone else's problem.
He drives better drunk.
It's true. It's true.
As you approach the shadow, you and only you hear in your mind, what is the
You say
shape of your
you
mind?
and only you? I'm sorry. Only
That
Alora?
yeah, just to Alora.
Okay.
Oh, she who denies the order of the sky.
She who denies the order of the sky.
What is the shape of your mind?
My, how
he the
the
unceasing.
turntables.
Unceasing. Okay.
Can Alora tell? Is it the shadow that's communicating with her?
It's hard to know for sure, but you did walk up to the shadow and are looking at it, and it hasn't outwardly reacted to your presence. It's still just sort of shifting in place as it was before. You then hear you require.
Require what?
Yes. Require what?
Oh, you just look familiar, but you don't feel familiar.
I have met she who denies the order of the sky.
When?
Many times. Many places.
Are you what our people call a shadow?
I take the form of a shadow.
Do you make trades with people like me?
I do not interact.
And what do you do?
Observe.
Are there others like you?
at this, the shadowy form does actually move, and you get the sense that it's like almost turning its head and just looking around, and just looking at you. Take it to mean all the other dragons around at the moment.
Okay. Are you observing us now for a reason?
Curiosity.
But you said you've seen me before. Have you not seen the others before?
I have seen you all before. I have seen He Who Lets the Stars Burn. I have seen He Who Builds and Breaks Fate.
How did they all know our names?
I don't know. How do you know
It's a hive mind.
the shape of our minds? All of us. I don't understand.
He's not stalling, he's calculating. Give it a second. There's lots of considerations.
I remember when she threw down the unjust king.
Me?
She who
Or
denies
she-
the order of the sky.
So you've seen the future.
I have seen many things and will see many things. But the future is not in the past.
Do you come from here or from beyond the Omnite Sea?
The DMs are messaging.
I hatched here.
Huh.
Were there others here before you? Others of your kind?
Many.
And are there others of you that did not hatch here?
It is not for she to know.
Okay, I'll probably give a little bow and head back to the group and tell everyone that we don't need to worry. It's another dragon.
It stays where it was. Does not move.
Sick.
All right. you all bed down for the night. Are you keeping a watch? Anyone keeping a watch?
Yeah.
Who is keeping watch?
Sure. I'll
Yeah.
take the other half of the night. Like
Okay,
we normally
cool.
do. Elves together.
Yeah.
Iggy first, Yorf second.
Yeah, because I need
Yeah,
to
and
wear
I'll
off a buzz a little.
and I'll cast my force intuition, whatever the normal thing is I do. That thing.
Yes, that thing. All right. You all bed down for the night and begin to drift off to sleep, with the exception of Iggy. Ember. You have a dream of days past, brighter days, days of running through the sunflower fields, chasing butterflies, happier days. And as you run after the butterfly, you hear something shifting in the grass to the side of you, and you glance over and see a flash of scales. Good timing. Elora. You and Lucky are poring over texts in the library, researching your magic, trying to learn how to cast. And Lucky puts his book down, the familiar green bound book, and he holds his hands up and utters an incantation, and you see the dirty rag sitting on the table in front of you suddenly turn pristine white, and you celebrate, clapping for him, jumping up and down, and you hear several other claps coming from behind you, and you turn to see forms you don't recognize. After the shift swap, Iggy, you are working in the Oasis. You are tinkering with, as ever, your bosonic charge.
The ocean.
And
The ocean. Yes.
yep.
That's my fault.
Wow,
That is.
embarrassing.
Yep.
So
You are in
charge
the
has been
ocean,
his whole time.
tinkering with your bosonic charge, and you irritatedly swat away a buzzing tiny dragon flying around you as you try to tinker with this device, constantly having to push them out of the way. There's so many of them. And you all awake the next morning.
Dragons in the ocean? Little dragons in the ocean flying around me?
Yep.
Do they look like dragons here, or do they look like fairy tale dragons of what
many dragons
would
here
probably
do
be
look
in the
like
ocean?
fairy tale dragons, but
Okay.
They appear to be I would say that you think that they look a little too realistic for the ocean.
Okay.
As you all awake, you are you muse on the odd dreams you had, memories from your past with dragons around watching. All right. As you all begin to get up and prepare for the day, you see an eagle swoop in and drop a frog, a small green frog onto the ground in front of you, and you all hear in your minds, breakfast.
We hear in our minds breakfast?
Yes.
This is
And
like
it's a very small frog?
Yeah, it's like would fit very comfortably on the palm of your hand. You know, you could close your fist around it without hurting it.
I would say no one's allowed to eat the frog. No one's eating the frog.
okay.
I was just gonna say I'll eat
the
the
frog
Start
alive?
cooking it.
Yeah, it's immediately begins hopping away from you all.
I wonder if this is something else that has been polymorphed into a frog, and we're supposed to take it down to 0 hit points and see what it transforms into.
Yeah.
You want to step
Regardless
on
of what animal it is, we're not eating it.
Well, do you have any bark jerky with you?
I have a little bit left in my backpack.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you? That's gross. We're not in your side of town anymore. You can look away.
A badger, you think the same badger from yesterday. Actually, you know the same badger from yesterday because it still has the metallic tail. It crawls up and drops a few small pebbles on the ground. And then walks away. You hear again in your minds, breakfast.
Oh, Ember, there's some rock.
Ember, look the other way.
Stone soup for you, Ember.
Can I, Pharaoh, pick up one of those pebbles and fire it in the direction of the frog?
What is Ember doing in this moment?
Just looking absolutely horrified at Iggy.
I mean, you did kill an animal. It's all right.
You fire this pebble at it. I suppose make an attack roll. Your Pharaoh attack roll.
Oh, that's not good.
It's a frog. The DC can't
It's a
be high.
frog.
Okay, 5 plus let's see. My universal attack modifier is 8, so I guess that's a 13.
Okay, that beats an 8. So you fire this pebble at it, and hear a small as the pebble explodes this tiny frog on the ground.
Oh, great. Now we have nothing.
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna look around at the dragons like. Did I
Many of them are just watching curiously.
I'm so happy that happened exactly like it did.
What appears to be actually an elven man walks up to you all and I'd say walks up to Naka and holds out what appears to be a whole pine branch with several pine cones still on it, and bows to you. Breakfast.
I think that's for Ember.
I look at him, very confused. Look around at the party in question. And put my hands out and say thank you.
Yeah, he drops it into your hands and walks away back to the edge of the edge of the square and turns and watches.
I turn to the group and I say breakfast. And I raise it up.
Oh, thank you.
Hyoba, does any of this look like anything that's not what it appears to be?
Well, the frog didn't appear to be dead, but it is now.
Oh, it definitely appears dead now. Yeah.
Oh,
You hear a few sharp clicks. Just a.
Okay, stop. I don't like it.
Everyone hated that.
Yes. And turn to see a sloth slowly dragging a bag. It takes. It looks like it's probably going to take about 3 minutes for it to get from the edge of the courtyard to you.
Maybe this is like they're like ravens that are trying to trade with us, and they're just bringing us random crap with the hopes that we will give them something usable in return.
Well, we killed one of the things that they gave us, so we're not off to a great start.
I'll walk up to the sloth so it doesn't have to go all the way, because I kind of feel bad.
It sort of holding the bag in one hand, sort of rears up onto its hind legs and holds its arms up towards you.
Take the bag.
It snatches it back and holds its arms out more insistently towards you.
So you want me to hold it? Can I try picking it up?
You pick it up, and it rests in your arms. Okay, please stop.
I thought we were gonna have
like
a demonstration.
Like this.
Exactly. And it opens the bag and dumps it out onto into the little cradle that you're holding it in, and you see a severed human foot.
Oh. Can I like quickly drop the foot without dropping the slot.
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
As you do so, you realize it is still warm.
Oh.
And you hear
Oh, thank you. I don't eat feet, though. I want to keep holding it, though, because it's cute. I'll be like,
it accepts the hold. Yeah. Is anyone partaking in your breakfast? Really? I'm shocked.
they know so much, but they don't know what we eat.
I'll probably take some of the pine cones and make like a little tea for myself. Like I'll go heat it up over the fire.
Sure.
Just
Yeah.
have some morning tea.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you see the elven man perk up a bit and watch very curiously as you do so. And as you are doing so, sorry, dealing with a cat who wants my ice cream bowl. You hear in your ear, they are asking many questions. I do not know what any of them mean, what to say. Many
Who's
ask the dragons. Many are asking me what the shape of my mind is, but I still do not understand.
So that lady, the she who is unceasing, knew all of us and knew the shape of our mind. Have you asked her what the shape of your mind is, or asked any of the dragons?
They say I seem to be dreaming, but I do not know. They also ask when the Featherwing found me, and where do men think, and why escape above and not below? Does any of this make sense to you?
No. You said they asked when did the Featherwing find you?
Yep.
And then what were the other two things?
Where do the men think,
Okay.
and why escape above and not below?
Are you the only one here who's dreaming? Is everyone else unceasing?
They say I am also unceasing and dreaming.
Unceasing.
I'm having trouble remembering what the different splits were that we kind of landed on last time. Were dreaming and unceasing two sides of the coin? Were those the two that were paired together?
It was dreaming or splintered.
I thought it was dreaming.
No.
and
Splintered being a category for dragons as a whole.
Right.
And then I think their current working theory is that unceasing and dreaming are two sides of the coin.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Because she kept asking Hyoba about us. Are they unceasing or are they dreaming? Right?
Right.
But Hyoba, they say she's unceasing and dreaming?
And dreaming.
I think for the sake of
Yeah. Sorry, I was misremembering.
a very small amount of clarity in all of this noise we're sending you, she's probably been getting conflicting answers from different dragons that are talking to her.
Got you. Okay.
Okay. That does help.
Yes, it does.
I believe the theory that we sort of settled on was that unceasing was like you are staying true to yourself, or like your motivations are such that you are trying to stay true to yourself. And dreaming is you have more like you have ulterior motives and you're using your form as a vessel to further those.
I'm not
motives
confident
that-
in that at all, but sorry.
Aaron thinks your theory is trash.
I don't have a
Other
theory.
ideas.
I don't have one, but I don't know if it's that.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but I know it's not that.
I would want to ask Hyoba, like, can you ask one of them what the feather wing is? Like, do any of them care to give you an answer on that?
Hyoba goes quiet for a moment, and says, they say me.
But they asked, when did the feather wing find you?
Yes.
Featherwing could be describing the owl form.
Oh.
Like, how long has
Yeah.
Hyoba been an owl?
Hyoba, do you remember when you morphed into an owl?
Of course. Was that night.
And before then, had you only been in your dragon form?
Human form.
Okay, and then they asked, why escape above and not below? Do you know what they're escaping from?
I don't know.
I wonder if that has to do with, like, there's Omnight up, literally, and there's also Omnight down, literally. And what makes the Omnight up different from the Omnight down? Maybe. I don't know.
As you are all discussing these wonderfully accurate theories, you see a familiar dwarven woman walking back towards the center of the village. This time seems to be dressed a bit different, in much more colorful, much more ornate, almost like ritualistic garments. Still very like tribal feeling. And she speaks out loud to you all. Did we sleep well?
Yes.
Also, now that it's morning, is the shadow gone or is the shadow still in the corner?
The shadow is gone.
Okay.
That would have disappeared sometime in the night.
Okay.
Can I insight check? Trying to glean some sort of motivation behind this question. I'm wondering if if I can make a logical assumption that the reason that my dreams were filled with a bunch of dragons watching me is because there are literally a bunch of dragons watching me, or if there was something that like they were actively doing to my mind.
Sure. Yeah. You can try. This thing is pretty alien, so it's going to be IDC.
Yeah.
But...
And that's definitely not going to do it. 13.
I actually rolled a 3. So from what you're able to tell from the insight check, it does seem to be an earnest question. Take that for what you will.
Well, I think Iggy's not used to having dreams. So
she'll ask, did we eat well?
Much was offered to us.
She looks down at the splat of flesh that used to be a frog, and the
Foot.
pine cone tea and foot. I want to make a t-shirt that's Breakfast of Champions, and it's just all of those items. And she says, apologies, many we the splintered don't often see humans. Many misunderstand.
what do you eat for breakfast?
She was hoping we might aid with that.
Okay.
Does she need food?
We the splintered don't need food. We the splintered and then she sort of motions towards the very slowly like coming out from that ground, that sort of blue energy floating up towards the crystal. We need marrow.
It's an interesting choice of word. I haven't eaten anything. Do I feel hungry?
Yeah.
Okay.
We the splintered can eat. Marrow is better. And then she almost like looks confused, like trying to process. She motions towards the sort of blue energy coming out. Marrow, as she like points upwards towards the ceiling, and she pulls out the scythe that she has with the on-night blade, and she like runs her finger off the top. Marrow.
Are you running low on marrow?
She motions back towards the energy sort of coming out of the middle. The marrow is running dry. We the splintered have a ritual to renew it. Many have failed. We, the splintered, must succeed. She, the unceasing, believes we can help.
How can we help?
We are descendants of Forgestorm. Forgestorm, she motions back towards the energy, dug the well and created the ritual. When the well runs dry, a Forgestorm must renew it. The well taps. You see her trying to like struggle for words and trying to find like the right way to translate. And she turns around, and you've seen as this conversation has grown, you see more and more of these creatures now have like popped back out and started listening again to this whole interaction. And you can see her turn around and start motioning towards them, as if she's talking, but you don't hear any words. And then all of them turn back, and you can see all of them very intentionally are focused at the very center of this room, at the sort of blue energy sort of coalescing out. You see many of them, actually not all, but many of them start releasing their animal forms and human forms and like pull back into their dragon form, and seem to focus, all pointing towards that center. And you probably all catch out of the corner of your eye motion happening around that blue energy that looks almost like a small stream of smoke going up, but blue. It starts to like spindle around and pulse and move, almost like sound waves vibrating like a bunch of debris on a speaker or something, and they all start shaking around. And you see sort of forming out of this smoke this picture of this sphere, and slowly it starts to get more and more detailed, and you see clumps of it that sort of pop out and others that come in, and over a couple seconds of observation, it becomes pretty apparent that you're looking at what looks to be amnesia, with the sort of maw sort of glowing towards the center of it, the center of the continent. And then after a few more seconds, there is like a pulse from the maw, and you see almost a fracture that breaks out from the maw immediately under the surface and stretches all the way around the globe. And all of those seem to be glowing that same blue as the maw itself. And she, the Unceasing, walks up and points at some of the sort of cracks pointing away from the maw. The well taps the marrow.
Can I recall, do these cracks that have formed on this globe line up even remotely with some of the bases that we had marked on our own maps?
Probably not.
Okay.
No. She sort of turns around and motions, and all the dragons seem to break an amount of concentration, and you see the almost smoke energy sort of go back to a normal form. And then she waves over a couple that walk over to her with what appears to be a very ornate box, probably about this big, covered in like omnite crystals and all whatever else. And she opens it out in front of them and takes out what looks to be kind of similar to a lot of the other omnite tools in here, a hammer, but not like a war hammer or anything like that. This looks to be like a blacksmith's hammer, with a fully omnite head. And she holds it like very carefully in her hand, and you can all probably see from looking over, it looks sort of like very beautifully crafted. There's like gemstones in the embedded into the handle, and a lot of designs and filigrees like engraved into the side of the head and everything. Forgestorm's ritual requires we craft his hammer by his instructions. This has taken many, many moons. We, the splintered, must descend into the well and strike his anvil to renew the flow.
Okay.
Is the anvil in the center of the maw?
No. It is beneath us.
The big pillar of energy, a floor to that?
No. That is a hole.
Okay.
Did you say that no one's been able to do this successfully before?
The ritual has been successful before, not in many decades. Those who fail don't return.
Can the ritual be completed by one who is not splintered?
No. She, the unceasing, will perform it. We will accompany.
Okay.
Why do you believe that we'll be able to help, though? What will we be doing?
Are we cannon fodder?
No. The ritual is complex. It is unsure. Experiments have been made. She believes humans will help. Humans are convincing. If we assist, we the splintered can deliver we anywhere.
We need to help them so we can get to the Borealis Academy.
We the splintered move quickly.
Is there a specific time that the ritual needs to take place?
Hey.
Years ago.
Right, well, we're late to the
The-
park.
The marrow. We have lost many splintered already. This is not enough. We must restore the flow. Or lose our name.
Did the marrow flow before the maw?
She, the unceasing, did not hatch before the maw.
Fair enough. It was a couple of years ago.
The last many attempts at the ritual. My parents she the unceasing has no brood. She the unceasing's ritual will be we the splinters' last shot.
Well, she, the unceasing, has been very gracious to we. Hopefully we can repay favor.
She is grateful. And she walks over to the blue flame and holds out the hammer above it. And you feel the earth sort of start to vibrate as she holds out the hammer above this energy, and it starts to glow. And slowly you start to see the tiles of stone that are immediately around this circular hole all start to descend like cascade, as what was originally a flat surface descends now into a spiral staircase that seems to lead below the earth.
Is she leading the way?
After it sort of finishes and locks in place, she looks at all of you and, are we ready?
Is she the only dragon coming?
It seems that way.
We's are ready.
I suppose.
She heads down the stairs.
I don't like any of this. Harpoon hand be on lock.
This is either going to go really cool or really bad.
Yep.
Whoever said it can't be both.
Lose a few people and save a few people. Few
There you
dragons.
go. Always an option.
Dragons are people too.
Only if they want to be.
You're right. Dragons can be people too.
Right. You head down.
All right. As you walk down the spiral staircase, for the first few minutes, there are chunks of omnite in the walls, lighting your path. But as you sink deeper, they become fewer and fewer, becoming plain rock walls until it is nearly pitch black in the staircase. Does anyone have a light source that they'd like to use to light the path here?
Yeah, I am a light source. I light my body up.
Cool.
Duh.
Just no one stand too close. You continue down for probably about an hour.
This is oddly reminiscent of that time that we went to hell.
Oh no.
You emerge from the staircase into a tunnel, which is you realize you no longer need to light yourself on fire, as there is along one side of it a torrent of that same blue energy that you saw up on the fountain above, flowing in almost a river.
When you say almost a river, it is not actually liquid, right?
No, it is not liquid. It is
Okay.
it is smoky, and there's energy sparking in it, but
Dagus motions over to it. Marrow.
Anvil?
Soon.
you continue on, and the tunnel winds around a bit, and at some point diverges from the river of marrow, and you once again light yourself up to light the way, and then the tunnel widens and emerges into a massive cavern, and you see you thought that what you had been walking alongside was a massive amount of energy. That was a trickle compared to the energy flowing through this cavern. You see it enter from one side and rush down and split around an island. It looks like an island in the middle of a river before continuing, merging back together and continuing on out the other side of the cavern. And the island is hundreds of feet across, and the river around it is massive. And you continue on down the path towards the river in the center, Dagus leading the way. And you get to the edge of the river.
Can I get an insight check from anybody that would want to?
I'll roll one.
14.
Nat 20.
Hey, I don't need to
Nice.
do anything there.
Elora, despite her best efforts, it is obvious to you that Dagus is shaking.
Okay.
And with a nat 20, you can see that fear probably is, I mean, there's a lot of anxiety going on, but she seems to be very carefully watching the river.
Okay. If I could maybe quietly pass that. Oh, wait. Oh, well, she'd be able to hear me anyway. It doesn't even matter. If I could just quietly say, watch the river to everyone around me. I was going to say to message people, but I mean, she would be able to hear that, right? Probably, possibly. I don't know. I'm just assuming she would. I'll just say it out loud. I don't care.
She sort of side's eye looked back at you, and sort of stretches real quick, adjusts herself, and she bends down and leaps into the air. And by time she hits the apex of her jump, she has gone full into her golden dragon form, and flaps her wings a couple times and just soars straight over the river and lands on the other side.
The river at this point is seems to be about 80 feet across.
80 feet, you say?
Mm-hmm.
What's my harpoon hand?
I could jump that, right? I could just
60?
with my jetpack.
You probably could with your jetpack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could carry two people across because you're a giant.
Brawny.
Wait, can you make us all mice and we just go into Naka's
I mean, is that
Hang
a
on, I
terrible
can
idea?
I can misty step 30 feet and then fire off my grappling hook, which is 50 feet.
Wait, how far can my harpoon hand go?
I think it's
60.
60. Yeah.
I guess I would be looking at her to see, like, is she waiting for us, or is she just gonna start doing her thing and she wants us to stay here?
Yes, she seems to be in her dragon form. She is now turned around and she has sat down and is looking towards all of you.
Okay.
Can I thought project to her?
This is it.
Does she need we over there or over here?
Here.
Here where she is, or here where we are?
She wants you to come to her.
Oh, okay. That's
my fault.
really funny.
I have Dimension Door. I know that's. I don't know.
Mhm.
I should.
Good. You
So I can take one person.
That'll get
with
two
me.
of you across. Yeah.
Is there like on the other side of the river? Is there like a cave wall that I could sink my harpoon hand into?
Not really. The island does like slope up, but it's not such a sharp slope that you could easily harpoon into it.
How high is the ceiling?
Very.
Very, very well out. Much further than the river.
Like
edge.
you can't see the ceiling. It
What's,
fades into the darkness.
What's standard jump distance?
Your strength score.
Oh, okay.
+8, right? Or is it?
No, it's just your strength score.
Oh,
Score, not modifier. So the big number, not the little number with a plus or minus.
And how far did you say it was? 60?
80.
80.
Okay.
Can I look around to see if there's this is feeling oddly reminiscent of like the river Styx to me. Can I look around to see if there's a ferryman a la Karen?
Neither Karen or Sharon is going, or Jaren is going to show up today.
Are there like
Okay.
any like sticks or stones in the Omnite River that we can jump across?
No. Not that you can see at least.
Oh, no
There might be
boat.
some
How
like
about a
just below the
boat?
surface, but no boat.
Could I reach out mentally and ask, so we don't waste our resources, can you help us get over?
Amazing.
She cannot.
Okay. So this jetpack thing, how many people can I take with me?
Can you go if it was just the jetpack? Are you can make it across? I don't know exactly. how it works.
Well, even without the jetpack. So without the jetpack, I have jump jet. So I guess I don't understand. So it's 20, okay, you can raise a number of feet. Does that have to be up or can it be out too? 'Cause it says, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it just seems like a funny thing.
Sure.
So you can raise 20 times your tech casting ability modifier with 5 times your tech casting ability modifier horizontally. So, like, how does that equal out? I'm just trying to figure
What is your tech casting ability modifier?
3.
So
So
you can
it's-
go 15 feet horizontally.
That's terrible.
Right.
Okay, yeah, right.
But like 60 feet up, right?
Yeah,
Is-
that
if I'm
doesn't help
understanding
us if we're
correctly.
trying to get across. to
Well,
8.
so how far can you jump with all of your fancy jump stuff? Ignoring that.
Well, I mean, my jump my strength's 18, but
Yeah.
what's the thing that, what do I have?
The Githyanki jump, I don't remember what the Star Wars equivalent is, but I believe it triples your jump.
That
Distance.
sounds correct. So triple. So that's almost
So-
there anyway. That's 54.
It's basic 18 times 3. 54 plus 15. 69.
Nice.
Nice.
You're 11 feet short.
11 feet short.
We can also bust out the formula for forward momentum. I think we can get them there.
All right. So what
Going
does
up
jetpack
60,
allow me
forward
to
15.
do? Flying 60 feet. You fly 60 feet. It's still not there. Can I like?
Does that require you to touch ground though, or does it just give you a fly speed of?
The jetpack?
Yeah.
How fast does the jetpack go? Does it give us stats for that?
Just 60 feet.
In a second?
It lasts for a minute.
In a turn. That
Oh.
sounds like a fly speed of 60 feet to me, in which
Yeah,
can turn
you have
it
a
on.
fly speed of 60 feet.
So
You can
60
turn it
feet.
on, fly across. You could ferry people back and forth if the jetpack is strong enough to do it. I don't know if that is the case.
60 feet.
But with 1 minute of 60 feet, you could probably go back and forth across this river like 3 or 4 times. Pretty comfortably.
I mean, I'd do it. It's fine.
I don't know how I feel about you being a pretty big guy and also carrying other people with you with that jetpack.
Sure.
Maybe
I
if
get you.
Ember goes mouse mode, you can do it, but
Well, if he
It's-
jumps 69 feet, he's only got to turn the jetpack on for those last 11 feet.
wow.
This is momentum. I mean,
That's true.
I will get P equals M speed right now.
So let's see. Alora can take one person over if she dimension doors, right?
Yes.
Who doesn't have any way of getting across by themselves right now?
I don't think I could. I don't think. Well, I can teleport 30 feet.
I can teleport 90 and bring someone with me.
Okay, so if Alora takes one person, and Vidar takes one person,
And I can
and
take
Naka
it.
takes
Naka
Ember
takes Mouse Ember.
in a
Oh,
mouse,
perfect.
there you go. That's 6.
All right, that works out then.
Let's do it.
Instead of being a mouse, can I just wild shape into something that can fly and I'll just fly over instead?
I don't believe you have access to a fly speed yet. Let me check.
Oh, really? I thought I did now.
Oh, okay. I might be wrong. I thought it was higher level.
Maybe it is.
I think it's 9, is it?
Oh,
You're just
okay.
going to be also an
It
owl.
depends on. I think it depends on what circle you are.
No, at 8th level, you get access to a flying
There you
speed.
go.
Yeah.
Nice.
What up?
Form of.
Nice.
An owl.
Okay. There you go.
Our
There's 2
original-
Hyoba.
No, I'm kidding. No, I'm just
Are you the same white barn owl as Hyoba?
Identical. Absolutely
Excellent.
identical.
Confusing.
Naka, how much do you
Wow,
weigh?
we're identical.
How much
I like
do
raise my
weigh?
eyebrows at her, but
Yeah.
like in owl. Like, yeah.
What was it? That's in my bio stuff.
Owls
just
have eyebrows.
Took me back.
220.
That took me back to
Inkajit.
Inkajit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Is everybody okay spending the resources and making it over?
Spurs.
Sure.
Bloop,
Yeah.
bloop, bloop, bloop.
All right, you all teleport or jetpack, which is objectively the cooler method, across. And land next to your dragon companion.
What are we flying across again? Like water, right?
It is flowing omnite energy. It's
bummed nobody
glowing
tried to
blue.
Said there was sparks
Well,
out of it.
I tried putting my Omni in a much less aggressive form of this, and it did not seem like it was going well. So I don't think I'm eager to touch it.
That's funny.
You land on the other side and see now a sort of a gray stone island beneath your feet, and in front of you, what appears to be at first glance, a person standing about 30 feet away, but you quickly realize that this is actually a statue. And as you approach closer and examine it, you see the statue of what appears to be a dwarf man holding a large blacksmith's hammer above his head, preparing to strike the anvil in front of him. And the anvil, which is mounted on a pile of skulls.
Good.
And you see coming from the dwarf's eyes seems to be a trickle of water, which drips down his face and onto the anvil and trickles down from there onto the skulls below.
And this is actually water and not omnite energy.
Actually water, as far as you can tell.
Okay.
Is there like at the base of the statue, is there like a rectangular thing that has like an inscription? No, I'm just kidding.
There's not, but you can make an insight check if you'd like.
Okay.
Does the hammer that he's holding look like the hammer that she has?
It looks identical.
Anvil?
A depiction of it. The anvil is further ahead. This is Valdar, Forgestorm.
That's the guy, right?
He led a sorrowful life. Valdar was a world-renowned smith, beloved by all. He was unceasing, but hated the war. Created the weapons, motion towards the weapons on your fierce back, to protect Unsplintered. But the weapons led to much death. Splintered and unsplintered. Many unsplintered. He withdrew here. In shame.
That's probably why he's crying. He's a sad boy.
He has known much grief.
I forget, did we so they are all Forgestorms, but were all of the Omnite weapons that they carry made by this one guy, or were they was it like the trade passed down? I don't remember if that's
if you
something that
know
we
the
asked
answer to that
last week.
question.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
believe
You're
that
welcome
has
to
been
ask it.
said. Yeah.
I want to ask that.
Okay. Forgestorm, Baldar, only created a few. They are known and numbered. He taught his kin, and his kin taught theirs. But many generations have passed without his blessing, without the flow of marrow. We have not matched his craftsmanship since. The ritual is a test, and she holds out the hammer. If it meets his standard, he will bless us again with marrow and his craftsmanship.
Does she still have this scythe that she was carrying before?
She does. It's on her back. But she was very much holding out the hammer when she was discussing that.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if trying to make sense of what she just said. Is this like she is taking something that she has crafted and that is being tested?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that thing is the hammer.
Okay.
Oh.
What happens if it is not accepted?
He dies.
The Forgestorm name will be lost. There are no others.
Is she the last she?
She is the last Forgestorm.
They were all Forgestorms.
Or is that just a clan name? She is like the actual.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So she's Forgestorm and the others are like Car Forgestorm.
Forgestorm adjacent.
Like Stark and Car Stark.
Forge heavy winds. All right, go.
You continue on, I assume, past the statue.
I guess. Since that's the fake anvil.
As you walk, you begin to see more Omnite. You haven't seen much compared to what you would have expected on the walk so far, but you see Omnite crystals jutting out of the ground. But these are narrower and more jagged than what you would normally see. And as you inspect one of them, you realize there is a sword growing out of the ground made of Omnite. And you look across and you see a field of Omnite swords and axes and spears and all manner of bladed weapons jutting out of the ground.
Do they look to be made of the same quality as her scythe? Like, is this the product of the same process?
I would ask for an Arcana check, which you don't have. I feel like
have
you
no basis of
right.
knowledge to
you just
gauge
don't have
this.
enough experience with Omnite, especially mastercrafted stuff, to have any clue.
Would I recognize if they look similar to Yorva? Like,
Yeah, give me a Arcana check with advantage for your experience with Yorva.
Oh,
I'm really glad you said.
you got advantage. I got your disadvantage is so bad you can't even roll.
Well,
I got a 19 with the
19. They are absolutely in the same style, but nowhere near the craftsmanship. And you also notice there's something more natural about them. As unnatural as it is that they are here, they seem more organic. They don't look so much crafted as grown.
Interesting. That answers my next question. Okay. They look grown. Okay. Like, could I? And like they're just lining up out of the ground as we're walking past them.
Yep.
they're not moving, to be clear.
Yeah, they're not moving.
Sure.
They are just there.
Like, what happens if I just like grab the handle of one of the axes
Sure.
out of the ground? Does it feel like it's like I could just snap it off like a cattail?
I mean, not as easily as a cattail, but with enough
Could
force,
take a swing.
you could try.
Omnite, it can be brittle when it's thin, for
Does
sure.
it glow as Eorva is getting close to it?
It's just glowing as Omnite normally does.
Yeah, in the ground.
There are
There are what?
orcs.
Yes.
Yes.
Would looking at these and seeing how they're grown, would I think to myself that maybe it was less about Stormforge like actually crafting these swords and weapons by hands and more like going down here, plucking them and then fine-tuning them?
Interesting.
The answer to that is a big effing you don't know.
Yeah. I can't. I'm trying to think of a way that you could glean that information. I don't think you can from the information you have.
I will think to the dragon, why are their weapons growing out of the ground?
She hasn't been here before. And she doesn't know.
All right, you continue on. The Omnite crystals grow steadily larger and larger, losing their sword and blade-like proportions, becoming more natural, what more normal Omnite crystals, except they grow steadily larger and larger. And you've seen Omnite crystals this large before, but not often. These grow to the size of like larger than a person. And as they grow larger, they also seem to grow dimmer. And you eventually reach a point where they are a couple feet over your, reaching to a couple feet over your heads. Even you, Naka. I suppose more than a couple feet for Vidar. They are completely dark. I'd like everyone to give me a perception check, please.
$16.
25.
4.
Nice. 8.
14.
Okay. Iggy, you notice what appears to be a dark shape in one of the crystals. Darker than the not glowing crystal around it.
Would I be able to recall if that shape, I'm assuming it's the silhouette of a figure of like a person or something? Is there enough detail that I can glean from that shape to identify if I have seen it in the spooky ghost that came out of your
the Omnite crystal seems to be like covered in a layer of dust. It's hard to see through it. You'd have to wipe that away to get a clearer picture.
I would like to go up to it
and as you put your hand on it and wipe down, it suddenly blazes to life, and you see staring out at you Iffy. And as this one blazes to life, the ones adjacent to it light up as well, and then the ones next to those, and before long, the entire field is lit up. And in many of them, you see shapes. You see...
I imagine I would probably have stumbled back and fallen over.
Yeah, you see Aegis. You see Lucky. Ro, Sai, Cerberus, many other forms that you don't recognize, but each of those are here. Naka, you also see your father in one. And Ember, you see many people you recognize here that you haven't seen in over a decade. No. I'm forgetting the timeline, but since your village was burned. Yeah.
Are these figures just like stationary? Or are they moving?
They seem to be frozen in position. All with just a neutral expression on their face.
Do I only see iffy, or if I look around, do I also see Aegis and Ro and whatever?
You all see all of them.
Okay.
You also see Dagus sort of fall to her knees looking at a set of crystals with two, a male and a female dwarf in either of them.
I feel like if Naka sees his father, can we walk up to these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think Naka would walk up to it and place his hand on the crystal, I guess, whatever. Yeah. And just disbelief, I think.
It the glow pulses a little bit as you touch it.
So they're like, it's like outlines of the people, right? It's not like actually.
It looks like the actual person frozen inside the Omnite crystal.
Right.
I take my father's sword hilt out of my bag, and I gesture to Iggy, and say, like, do you think we can cut them out?
No. Your fear is shaking his head, going, "No, that's not Sai. These are not real.
Yeah,
This is not.
this
Do
this
not.
feels
no,
cursed.
Do not.
Getting Dead Marshes vibes right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Your fear. You also see another young girl, and Vidar, if I remember correctly, you see an infant boy.
Oh.
It's the people who died not on amnesia that are totally throwing me.
Same.
Your fear, even seeing Sai and that girl, is going, no, this isn't real. This is not good. Whatever this is, I would not touch them. I've read enough books in my time.
You all hear a relatively loud crack,
No.
and turn over to see Dagus
No.
taking the back of her scythe and just repeatedly slamming it against one of the pieces of Omnite.
I would like to run to Dagus as quick as I can and try to like get in front of her without getting my head scythed off. And I implore you, do not go any further. These are not the people you think they are. We all...
The second you get, like, as
That's
she
right.
sees you sort of rounding, she rips away from dwarf form and goes full dragon, and just
Oh no.
you can feel the breath from the roar just whipping across your face.
Can I activate my invisibility? I imagine something's gonna come.
Your fear pees a little again. I think he would probably stumble backwards, but would try his hardest to just be like, It is. These are not the people you think they are. We are all seeing people we have lost or hurt. This is not real. Something is showing us what we want to see the most in order to gain something from us. Do not fall for it.
This feels like a test, and you're failing right now.
That's fine.
Speaking to she, not your fear.
Oh, okay. I'm like, that's fine. This is effed up. I'm not touching you. I've done a lot of stupid things in this campaign. Touching those will not be one of them.
She, the unceasing, did not see them die. She only watched them descend.
Descend here?
Through the stairway. They might not be dead.
We saw they die.
Very dead. I killed one.
She's they,
Hey.
probably dead. Like we's they, dead.
She must know.
This isn't how to figure that out.
She will.
Can we do that after the anvil?
She your fear, give me a persuasion check.
Okay.
Can I assist with that?
I'm better at than I thought I was.
Sure, you can assist, so you get advantage.
I got okay. Well, my first roll, I got a 19.
19 on the die?
I just rolled a nat 20 with +5.
Nice.
Beautiful.
Sick.
Came down here to test the hammer. That's what we should do first.
If she does not see them again, we will join them.
We as in you.
No, we is us.
We is we.
If she doesn't see her parents again, we're dead.
But
Maybe let her
I feel
figure
like-
it out.
I feel like if she doesn't see them again, we will be dead anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's hope we see your parents.
She takes several if I remember correctly, Orpheus, you said you stumbled back.
Oh,
She
yeah.
takes several steps towards you, like growling in your face, and slowly morphs back into dwarf form. But as she does, her scythe is held out towards your neck, and she slowly pulls it back and puts it behind her.
How much damage did she do to that crystal there?
Yeah, is it leaking? Is it seeping?
There are a couple cracks in it.
Do we smell anything funny? Is there sulfur? Is there a smell of sulfur?
No, you don't. You don't smell anything, but you do see little wisps of smoke seeping out from the cracks, which is not something that's particularly unusual for breaking on night.
Okay. Anyone have any gum? We can patch that up real quick.
Just get some Flex Seal here.
Yeah. Slap that bad boy up. That's how we solve all of our problems in Troop 32. Flex.
That and just stabbing people up the butt.
Well,
Yeah.
we flex seal the wound after. Okay. All right, I really hope this was the right play. Okay, let's go test your hammer. Okay, let's play Immigrant Song.
She continues walking onward and holding the hammer just like iron grip in her hand.
I follow.
Yeah, same.
As you do so, you look down at your feet and realize the gray stone floor has been carved into the pattern of large scales, dragon scales.
Okay.
As you all continue down the path, you eventually find yourself at a bit of a sort of a cliffside situation, and you see as you sort of look over, almost the shape of one of those like modern quarries where there's like a spiral path that goes down towards a sort of center circle. It's not as deep as a quarry, probably only about 100 feet from the very top to the bottom, but you'll have to do 3 rotations around to get to the bottom. You do see, as you start following this curved path and looking down, the very bottom center of this seems to be glowing a bright blue, and you see what appears to be a comparatively to probably just about every anvil you've ever seen in your life, a very large anvil, probably 5 or 6 feet across, sitting in the middle of whatever this blue glow is.
Is this anvil made out of omnite?
It does not seem to be.
Look like Elysium steel.
It's hard to tell from this distance.
Let's get closer, baby.
Anvil?
No response. She continues leading down through the spiral, and as you near the bottom, Elora, you're probably the first to notice and probably do one of these numbers, as the anvil seems to be sitting in what appears to be a pool of liquid omnite.
Oh. That's not something you see every day. Okay.
Dagus stops just a couple feet short of entering into the pool and is just seems to be looking everything over. Is there anything any of you'd like to do?
In my experience with Omnite, would I have information about its like physical properties, like melting point, boiling point? Like, would I know it should liquid Omnite be like insanely hot?
Yeah, virtually impossible. Like, if you throw it into the sun, it'll do it, you know, but liquid Omnite is not under immense amounts of pressure or immense amount of heat, and most often both.
Can I mean, I can't take fire damage, but can I tell, is it radiating heat?
No.
Can I take my that like big piece of metal and the hardened Omnite that I got from Hagen's junkyard and bring it out and see if anything happens, like if I kind of put it close to the pool?
I don't think it would react.
Is there anything else down here? Just the anvil and the pool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's about it. At your fear now being closer, you can see that it does appear to be that this Omnite is made out of extremely ancient, some type of or alloy of Elysian steel.
You can see the telltale glitter in the steel.
Although it's very ornately crafted. There are like glyphs and everything all around it.
Is the hammer constructed in a similar manner?
The head is Omnite. The handle is wood. Lots of gemstones. It's very beautifully crafted, but it is not Elysian steel.
Does it have glyphs on it at all?
It does have some, yeah. It seems to be a near perfect replica of the one that Balder was holding in the statue. After, spending a good 30-40 seconds looking everything over, Dagus seems to like inhale a bit and put one foot out and step down into the liquid Omnite, and she finds the ground just maybe 3 inches below the surface, and she doesn't seem to yell out or anything. She puts the other foot down and very slowly starts wading her way towards the anvil.
What can we do in this what should we expect? You're gonna hit the anvil with the hammer, right?
Yes. Her craftsmanship will be judged.
We believe in you, Dagus, with the power of friendship.
And you will join me then.
Hitting the
she
anvil?
then.
You want
anvil?
She motions sort of beside her.
Oh. Okay. I'm
I will.
gonna walk down.
Yeah, I'll take a step into the liquid omnite.
Sure. Once it seeps through your shoes, it feels actually probably cool to the touch. Not like ice cold, but cool.
Cool. I make like a inquisitive motion to her, like, do you want us to go around?
She'll nod her head back at you.
I'll walk to the opposite side.
You will make a little circle around the anvil.
Yeah.
All right. She holds out the hammer in front of her and flips it over a couple times, inspecting it one last time. You can see her use her finger and wipe off a couple of the gemstones, whatever dust was on them or whatever. And holds it tightly with both hands and lifts it up over her head and slams down on the anvil as hard as she can. And it rings out through this whole chamber and just starts reverberating. You can feel like the ground shake as if it was all just like one solid piece of metal. And the reverberations don't go away as the earth begins to shake more and more. And you feel... you start to feel like pebbles and little bits of dirt and rock like start falling off of the pathway that you walked in on, and eventually what feels like a full force of an earthquake and rock sort of shaking the walls around you. Eventually you start to see movement on one wall in particular, as an entire piece of this rock wall, probably 35 feet across, starts shifting upwards like a door. But instead of revealing a pathway, it reveals one giant 35-foot wide dragon eye that seems to be staring at all of you. As the eyelid opens up, you see liquid starting pouring out from like every edge of the eye and starting to fill up. It is not water, it seems to be more liquid omnite that just starts coming up and up and up and up and just like gushing out like a river, to the point of where you're probably up to your waist, all of you, before it slowly starts to dissipate. And you hear booming through the chamber a voice that has no particular origin, but you hear it in your mind just as loud as your ears. And I know this isn't going to be intelligible very well, but Stephen can translate.
I am doom. Doom to all that find me. Doom to all who know me. Doom to all I've known. doom to all I've forgotten.
What is what's Dagus's reaction to this?
Even without an insight check, you would catch terror.
But like terror in awe or terror, oh no, I'm going to die?
Probably a mix. It also probably starts clicking slowly as you've been walking over the course of this island and the scales that you've been walking across, that you have been traversing the body of a dragon at a scale you thought not possible.
Yep.
Cool.
So that's cool.
I go invisible.
Again,
There's just a hole in the Omnite water that's the shape of Vidar.
Actually, it's probably like up to here on you, instead of your waist.
Dagus,
legs engage.
Dagus starts looking around now that things seem to have stopped moving. The eye is very much still open and very slowly seems to be moving back and forth and looking over everything. Eventually she looks over the anvil, looks up at the eye, and looks down at the pool, and seems almost transfixed at this liquid omnite. It's probably a little below her waist, a little above her waist, given she's a dwarf. And she mutters something under her breath. Can I get a perception check?
Natural
You're muted.
20 plus 8.
Oh my
Heck
gosh.
yeah.
So many nat 20s tonight. What the heck?
8.
Iggy, you hear her whisper, the pool of lost souls. As you all eventually take in your surroundings and look down, the liquid omnite sort of shimmering back and forth from the movement, and eventually as it slowly starts to still, you look down and see not your own reflection, but Iggy, you look down to see Iffy staring back at you, and Alora, you see Lucky, and I don't need to go through the list. You all know who you see. Matching your movements and looking down. Dagus, without sort of breaking eye contact with her own reflection, whoever that might be, she says, this is the pool of lost souls. It is a place to forget. To forget that which hurts the most. If you descend. If you enter, when you return, you will leave behind your reflection. And all memory of them.
Choose not to descend.
Would
Have
it not
we already descended?
No. To submerge.
Oh.
Would it not be favorable to be unburdened?
No.
Oh.
It might be.
It might be easier.
You know not the weight of my mantle.
You know not the weight of our mantle.
You are mortal, and your actions are insignificant.
Yet we are who we are because of our reflections.
Wouldn't us being mortal make every decision we have even more significant? If our lives are so finite, every action carries a greater weight in the balancing of our scales. For those who live a lifetime and then some as immortals, you have multiple of our lives to undo wrongs, to fix right, navigate new paths. Us who are immortals, we have a vapor.
And at worst, your grief knows decades, not millennia.
You're right.
I have a millennia ahead.
So you will just choose to wallow in the grief?
No, I could choose to forget it.
That solves nothing. That conquers nothing. That teaches nothing. The grief that burdens you can ultimately, you can turn that into something incredibly powerful, to drive you for greater, to do something bigger than yourself, to remain so small within your own scope, to just wither and wallow for a millennia in grief, and then to be so weak to just unyoke the burden in a moment. Why not take the grief that you feel as a burden and have it carry you into something greater. This group here, we have all felt grief beyond words in the short time we have known each other. But each one of us has chosen to walk a different path, chosen to walk a path that's not our own. Iggy has no reason to continue on a path with Troop 33, to do the will of people he has no connection to. He lost his sister days ago. Naka, a dear friend, a brother, a daughter, another friend, more friends. Yet the group here has persevered. Can't you do the same?
He who breaks and builds fate has caused much grief, more than he will ever experience.
And that's why I have to make every moment for the remaining of my years something even more than myself. Because at my core, I am a selfish, foolish old man. And the wrongs of my past cannot be undone. But I can only look out to the horizon of the future and hope I can bring some light to something bigger.
How is Alora feeling in this moment?
I think I've been deep in thought, and I do want to look at Dagus and say the burdens that we carry make us stronger.
Does Aberna not weigh you down? Couldn't you carry more without it?
For a time, it may weigh you down, but eventually you get used to it, and you can carry more.
Burden shows you how strong you are.
I don't know if I am.
You said you needed our help. What is it you ask of us?
Valdar loved the Unsplintered. He loves them. I wish to gain his favor. To remind him of what he worked so hard for.
Is he, and I'll point to the 35-foot eye, Valdar.
Yes. Um, she who hears the whispers of beasts and men. Has lost more kin than I. Would it not be easier to forget?
It would be easier to forget. But they have become my sole purpose for existing. And to forget them would make my life meaningless.
The unsplintered are curious things. Meaningless is not an option afforded. To splintered or unsplintered. Oh. Can I get a, we'll call this a, almost like a group stealth check. We're going to do a group persuasion check.
$22.
15.
18.
Good night. 9.
8.
Man, Vidar
Okay.
and Naka just bringing up the rear, dragging us down.
They're scary looking.
Um, there is so much. There was so much lost. About the splintered. So much we can't remember. So much she, the unceasing, will never know. But if she, the unceasing, forgets what she does know, the splintered will never learn.
We're not hearing you. Do you want me to just read it out, Caleb? Only hearts that know darkness can witness the colors of sunrise. The truth of light is sharpest from the depths of the well of grief. And you feel the ground beneath you rumble again as the massive eyelid slowly begins to lower again. And as it gets closer and closer to being closed, you see the liquid omnite in the pool that in which you're standing begin to seems to be draining at first, but then you realize it is flowing into the anvil and filling the grooves of the carvings in the side of it, and as it as the last of it drains, a beam of brilliant blue light shoots upwards from the top of the anvil, and with a shuddering crash, the eyelid slams closed, and you are on the other side of the river, off of the island.
Can we look back to the island? Can we see the anvil from where we are? Is there something on it?
You cannot see the anvil. One, it's very far away. Two, the island rose up and then dipped down in the center. However, you can see a brilliant beam of light rising from the center of the island and seemingly disappearing into the rock of the cave ceiling above you.
I don't know if I would be able to ascertain this. I'm curious, is the was there a hole in the ceiling above the anvil? And I'm wondering if there is, does that hole lead directly to the marrow pillar?
It's the ceiling is shrouded in darkness. You can't see it, but You do know that you actually descended through the hole that the fountain of omnite energy of Marrow was shooting out of, and then walked a ways from there. So it's unlikely that it is centered directly on it.
I want to look at she and try to gauge her reaction.
Hi.
Hello. Yes.
You're a little quiet, but yes.
You're quiet, but yeah. No, it's not in the stream.
She's probably upset.
She probably upset because she didn't get to see her parents again, or do we not? Can we not
She got.
ascertain that?
She got, like, was the judgment okay?
I feel like she explicitly saw them again.
She did. Well, maybe. We don't know what was in the shadows, but she did technically see them, I think.
You do notice, however, that the hammer that she's still holding is glowing in all the grooves of the carvings, just like the anvil was.
That's
Fine.
probably
Feels
good.
like we won.
I think maybe she might be mad still, though. But
She might hate us a little bit.
well, that's her own problem. She'll have to work out. That's her burden that she's gonna have to work through. The yoke for the next millennia. We're dead soon. It's fine. It's alright. It's not a big deal. She won't have to worry about us for too much longer. But let's not expedite the process.
And I think we will leave it there for tonight. Or we can have Caleb type out more. Cool. Yeah, we will pick up next week on Tales of Amnesia Lunar Eclipse.